Hi everybody, it's Nami and welcome to my very first makeup tutorial. In our last video, we had requested comments for suggestions of what you guys wanted to see for some makeup tutorials for Halloween. It was specifically requested that I put together a good fairy makeup tutorial. Hi Haley. So let's get started. I am a big fan of just cheap-ass colored contacts, and for this particular tutorial, I am going to use blue. Just keep it like this. Next item, awesome anime elf ears. I got these from my friends Derek and Carolyn. They own a business called Fairy Transformations. You can find them on Facebook. And we're gonna throw those on with some spirit gum. You just slip it over, pull the seam, and yeah, it's kind of covering a little bit of my hair, but that is going to be not so terribly important. So prepare yourself for all the worst puns in the world when you do this, guys, because the moment you have these on, you're going to have 300 annoying people ask you
if you hear better than everyone else.
It's okay to give them the stare. They deserve it for being so corny. Give it a few minutes and then they will cure and solidify. So now we gotta put on our foundation. I apply mine with a kabuki brush. So now that we've got our base contouring on, we're gonna start with our eyes. I like to put down an eye primer. Now that I've got a good primer treatment on, we're gonna begin with some color. This color is actually made by the company that I work for. This is a line of products we call Fairy Dust. It is an all-natural shimmer powder, and this was in our steampunk-inspired line, and this is what's gonna go on my lid. For the crease, I'm going to use this amazing magenta color. This particular color is called pink or red. It's very serious business. Or pink or red. Pink or red, maybe both. Who knows? It was really cheap. Let me tell you how I love some cheap makeup. I'm going to use this wide tip brush. Ooh, haha. I'm going to apply it so that there's a bit of a wide spread. This is a fantasy-based makeup treatment, so I want it to have unconventional elements, things that you wouldn't really wear just like out and about. You'll note that I went a little bit into the crease with the bronze. It's mostly because I want to create a transition between the pink and the bronze. You don't want it to be too harsh. Blending is really what makes anything look a little bit more reasonable or plausible, especially with fantasy stuff. Next item ahead is a plummy purple, and this is going directly in the crease. I'm also going to put a little bit in the corner below with that same plummy purple. Dot a little bit of light white or luminous powder into the corner of the eye to decrease the look of shadows. The next thing we want to do is add a little bit of color to the rest of our face. Because we're a fairy, we want to go for something that's sort of youthful and fun. Blush is a necessity. You're going to dust the apples of the cheeks, but also bring it across the bridge and tip of your nose. This may seem a little bit odd. However, if you're going to be going for sort of a youthful, innocent kind of look, this goes a long way to accomplishing that. Now, because we've done stuff on our eyes and we've done stuff below, you're going to see that it looks a little darker under my eyes. We're going to handle that with a little bit of concealer. Now that we have our youthful cheek and nose glow, we're gonna go over this portion of our face and a little bit of the bridge of our nose with some highlighter. Taking a little bit of glitter and dabbing it on my lid, but right in the center of the lid. I don't want to cover the entire lid. I only want this very center portion. And this is a holographic gold, but you can use any color that you may have lying around. This is just about adding something a little bit fantastical, a little bit different to what you're trying to do. Now I'm going to take some of this and drag it down directly below my eye. Now I have some of these bits of rosish pink, they're almost like tinsel flakes really, that I'm going to lightly dab over this using the eyeshadow applicators everybody tells you not to use, but they do have their purposes. I don't care what anybody says. Whatever. I'm using a little bit of clear gel glitter glue. I'm placing it on my eye in the same pattern over the gold I've already used. Now, using that same wet side of the applicator, lightly grab some of the pink glitter and dab it into the same general place with the gold. Now, I'm going to bring down the gold tinsel as far as I brought down the gold glitter. I want it to be more of a natural extension, but as you can see, the gold is down a little bit further. It's going to play with the light a little bit differently. This gel glitter glue is awesome. This is Bitsy is the name of it. I don't even know where I got it. And you don't want it to be too precise either. You want it to be a little chaotic. It's supposed to be natural. The more precisely symmetrical your look becomes, the more likely it is to look formulaic. You don't want it to have that sort of vibe to it. I am a big proponent of unconventional product use. Oftentimes people think that you can just use eyeshadow on your eyes and you can just use lipstick on your lips. Guess what?
Nobody tells me what to do. I do what I want.
So for this, oddly enough, I'm actually going to dab this lip color, just sort of this magenta-y purple, around the outside edge of my face. And I'm going to very, very lightly blend it into the blush that I've already got going on. Make sure the edges are really well blended so that it doesn't look splotchy, but also push it into your hairline. So why exactly am I doing this? Figure it out. Yeah, gotta be patient. As you can see, I'm just going around the outside edge of my cheekbone, kind of to the hollows, but not quite. But that's going to be some of what gives this look a more fantastic sort of vibe. Go ahead and bring that up right into your hairline. Make sure the edge is blended thoroughly. And follow the edge of your contour. And I'm going to put a much lighter sort of dabbing up here in the corners of my face. So there's our outside glow. Now, much like I have my pink tinsel, I have this sort of lavender tinsel, and I'm going to use it in the same general area that I just used, that sort of out of edge shading. So there we have it, the outside edge of our shimmer. So what I'm using to do this is actually a lip ink. You can do this with a pencil. I prefer to do it with a brush because I feel like it gives me more control. And I'm actually making false lines to make the front of these eyebrows a little bit funky and a little more organic, as I think a fairy would have it. And there, I'm rounding out my arch a little more. Much of this makeup look is inspired in part by my bestie and my favorite good fairy, Kristen Brayman, the owner of the Fairy Apothecary, where I work. Kristen loves everything color, everything fun, and if you've ever seen me, you know that color is not the thing that I frequently do best. However, Since knowing Kristen, I have personally become a great deal more adventurous with my own use of color because she is freaking fearless with it, and it's amazing. Now our brows are in order, kinda, not too much order, because it's supposed to be a fairy. That's supposed to be an investment banker. Calm down and let loose. Now I'm going to be doing the final accents on my eyes. I got a little bit underneath, and I'm actually going to build up the lower lashes. I don't always do that or even often do that, but in this particular case I'm going to. I'm going to create a remarkably thin line above my lashes on the top with black liquid liner. It is not supposed to be thick or severe. You want it to be there just to build up the lash line to make the eyes pop a little bit, but not make yourself look angular or give it a harsher look. As you can see, I'm not creating wings or anything. It just opens up my eye a little bit and draws more attention to my lashes. So there, as you can see, draws a little bit more attention to my eyes without being too harsh or looking like something that's even a little bit too modern. Now I'm going to put on some false lashes. I've chosen to go a little bit more simple and let the sparkle speak for itself. However, feel free to go nuts with your eyelashes. But I'll tell you, 100% honest, I freaking hate putting these damn things on. But I love you. I love you so much. So much. I'm going to put on false lashes for you. Where's my eyelash glue? There it is, yay, I found it. With your eyelash glue, you're going to apply a thin bead to the application end of your lash. All right, let's try that again. We're gonna test that. That didn't work. Before applying them, let them sit for a minute or two. You don't want thoroughly wet glue going right onto your face. Also have a little eyelash comb on hand just in case you do wind up with some sticky lashes getting stuck on themselves. So you wind up with tarantula eyes. Tarantulas is cool, just not on your face. I hate these things. They're stupid, but they're pretty. They're pretty. Give it a minute. That's when you dance. You dance while you wait for your eyelash glue to dry a little bit so they don't just slide right off your eyelid. Different eyelashes are made differently. The reason that I like these ones in particular is that they are actually joined by a little string. The only problem with that is that you wind up with this little white line. So you do have to go over it with a liquid liner, but doing the pre-line gives you an idea of where you want them to sit so you apply them properly. I can't stress this enough. You really want to do that pre-line so you know exactly where you want them to settle. I'm gonna grab my mascara and I'm gonna very lightly mascara my eyelashes. I'm gonna use mascara because I don't want my lower lashes, which are layered underneath, to show up oddly in contrast to the false lashes. So there we are, there are our lashes. Now, our final step is the lips. I am actually going to use concealer and sort of mask the outer edges of my mouth, and you'll see that it's going to give it a fairly specific effect. As you can see, it draws your eye center to the lips, is the lipstick I'm using, but I'm not using it on my entire lip. I'm only using it on the inside edge, and I'm going to cover it with a sheer sparkling gloss. Now you're going to apply your sheer gloss. What you want to do is apply to the outside edge of your lips and drag in. Being sure to clear your brush off between too many of your strokes. And there you have it. Now gently roll your lips together, but don't rub them together. The idea is not to have a complete blend, but just have this very light bit on the inside and then the shininess on the outside edge. You really want the focus to be on the eyes and the upper portion of the face and sort of a vague illusion to the light sparkly lip. Now this is what we've got so far, and this is our makeup, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out, but we gotta finish this look with a little something else. So you asked for good fairy, here it is. So here we are. You asked for good fairy and you got it. I used color and everything for you guys, so I hope you're happy. Thank you so much. This was a ton of fun to put together for you. Thank you, V, and thank you to Haley for making this suggestion. Also, I want to give a special thank you to Kristen Brayman, one of my besties, for being part of my inspiration for this look. With her grand love of color and fun and love of nature, that has inspired me to put this look together for years now. Definitely visit both of us at thefairyapothecary.com and take a peek at some of the things we have to offer. Also, stay tuned next week because I have a feeling that a bad fairy may be making an appearance a week from now. Thanks guys, have a great week, and I'll see you next time around. Hearts and skulls!